Thanks for stopping by for a quick check of your forecast. Hope you guys are doing well today. We're going to talk about our winter weather potential for this weekend, along with our next weather maker that is going to be hot on the heels of this one that comes through over the weekend on Friday night into Saturday. I honestly think we stay dry here in Amarillo this weekend, but we do have a couple of counties that are under a winter storm watch, so the potential for maybe even a half foot of snow is there. It's not a 0% chance, so if you plan on going up to Colorado this weekend, I would certainly maybe plan on having a couple of travel delays or maybe having to spend some extra time on the road just due to some of those hazardous travel conditions. So we're going to talk about that. Our next weather maker Tuesday, or rather Monday night into Tuesday, piquing our interest. It's not a guarantee yet, but it looks like that one may be a better chance for us further south to see some moisture from it. So we'll get to that in a moment. Our current temperatures this morning, very cold. All of us down to or below freezing. We're at 16 degrees in Tucumcari, 24 in Dimmitt. Locations on the Cap Rock, mostly in the 20s. And then further east, you are in the 30s. Hey, Shelly and Lori, thanks for tuning in. Wind speeds are very light this morning, but they're still there, so your wind chills are in the teens and single digits out west, and we're feeling like 20 in the Amarillo area. And our dog walk forecast going to help us climb into the 50s this afternoon. We'll see full sunshine up until about 4 or 5 o'clock. We may see some high clouds moving in from the west and southwest then, but overall I think we get plenty of daytime heating, and then we'll end up climbing into the 50s. It wasn't me, Matthew. I certainly paid mine, but it is definitely going to be cold moving into next week. So definitely get ready for it. It's going to get worse on Monday and Tuesday than it is today. So here's your Barron model for the next 48 hours. We've got quiet, benign weather from now until about 5, 6 o'clock on Friday evening. You'll see the clouds move into the region overnight tonight. That'll keep some of us quote unquote warmer than the rest of us. We'll still probably fall below freezing everywhere, with maybe a few exceptions for Childress and Paducah, but I think a lot of us end up in the 20s tomorrow morning and some teens where we have clear skies. Our next weather maker starts to move onshore this morning, and it's going to be making its way into parts of North New Mexico and Colorado. Over the course of the day on Friday, you can see snow already starting to fall at 5 o'clock there in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, just along and west of I-25. And that system, there's a low-level jet that's going to come through the underbelly of it, and that's going to steer this system to our north. So I think we missed the moisture in Amarillo. Our winter storm watch just in effect for Union and Cimarron County for our viewing area. A lot of that impactful snow is likely going to fall in southeast Colorado and parts of western Kansas rather than us here in the high plains. But South Central Plains certainly looking at an impactful system from Friday night through Saturday. It'll be a wet, heavy snow. It's not going to blow around a whole lot, even though the winds may get up to about 20-25 miles per hour. The temperature is going to be real marginal, right around 31, 32 degrees. So it's going to bring in moisture to the area. And again, that winter storm watch highlighting the areas that have the potential for as much as maybe 6 to 8 inches of snow. The rest of us are going to miss out on any substantial moisture. That gradient or cutoff line from no snow to that 4 to 6 inches very quickly, it's going to be about 10 to 20 miles. It won't take very much distance for you to travel north and west where you start to run into that band of snow for it to really start to pack a punch and accumulate very quickly. But again, you can see a lot of it on our computer model as well, staying to our north. So not expecting a tremendous amount of snow for us, just going to be a little chilly on our Saturday. Jacob, probably not this weekend. If you get snow flurries this weekend, that's about as good as it gets, but I think us in Amarillo, really from the Canadian River south, going to miss out on this. Here's the snowfall forecast. This is our first one to come out with. Again, we'll have our afternoon data or our models. It'll have ingested the sample soundings from this morning from the balloon launches that we have sampled for that system. It just came on shore early this morning, and so we should have a better idea, I think, this afternoon. I think that'll kind of be our overall forecast. I don't think it's going to change much. But again, this really isn't much different from what we were seeing the last couple of days. Really haven't had to touch the area where we think that the most snow is going to fall. In terms of the totals, it's probably going to be a very minor event in the Oklahoma Panhandle. We're probably talking about a ½ inch to an inch of snow for most of you guys up there, like Texline, Guyman, Beaver, slap out Oklahoma. Stratford, Perryton, won't rule out some very minor accumulations for y'all in Dalhart as well. But really the further northwest you go, the better it's going to get for snow accumulation. Clayton and Boise City, we've got you at about 2 inches for right now. Des Moines is really the only location in our viewing area that's going to see, I think, winter storm potential. They've got 4 to 8 inches probably on tap for them or on order. Campo and Lamar, kind of those bottom few counties in the southeast side of Colorado, is going to be the one that gets this system over the weekend, and that could extend as far east as probably Garden City there in West Kansas. Now this next system, this upcoming week, this is the one that I think will be a little bit more notable for us. Model's still uncertain on how it evolves. Again, it's also directly behind, right on the heels of that first system, so that may play a factor in how much available moisture we have as well. If it stays as an open wave trough, we expect some light snow with it, but probably not a lot. But I do think we could see some flurries or at least some minor snow accumulations for a portion of the area. If it's an open wave, then it'll more than likely have some light snow up in the northeast towards Beaver and towards Canadian. If it closes off, it could dig pretty far to the south. And so track 1 is something that would actually be extremely favorable for a lot of moisture to come into the Panhandles region. A couple models certainly hinting at that. There are a few models that do dive it a little further south, like track 2. Still would expect a little moisture from it, but we would be pretty far away from all of the hefty dynamics from that system. And so the snow rates would be very light. It would take a long time for us to get any kind of accumulation, but it is going to be cold regardless moving into next week. We've got high confidence that temperatures will be well below normal on Monday and Tuesday, and probably below normal again on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And that really could also have implications on our temperatures if we have snow still on the ground in that time frame. But this is something that I think we should watch closely moving into next week. If it does take a favorable track, it could certainly mean meaningful snow for some of us, if not a good chunk of us, moving into next week. Highs for today, a lot of low 50s out there. It's going to be seasonal, a lot of sunshine. If you want to spend some time outside, it's a good chance to do it. We are going to be cold in the mornings, probably for the next 7 to 10 days. We'll have temperatures more than likely at or below freezing every morning. A lot of us will be in the mid-20s, and then we end up with those highs in the 50s with some breezier winds out of the southeast tomorrow. And then we'll have some partly cloudy skies as well. Saturday morning down to 29 degrees. So if we get a quick hitting shower, it's not impossible. The chance is extremely low, around 10%. It would more than likely be just kind of a slushy snow, very quick, and it probably won't accumulate here in Amarillo. All of that would be mostly up to Cimarron and Union County. Hey Lois, well, the good news is it looks like y'all will see a little bit over the weekend. I don't think it'll be a lot, but you guys certainly much more favored than we are here in Amarillo and locations into the Texas Panhandle. Here's our 7-day tracker, 41 for your high on Saturday. Again, we will probably stay dry. We'll see clouds early, clearing out in the afternoon. 41 though, very chilly behind the front. And then Sunday will be more seasonal, and that's our last quote-unquote seasonal day for a while. Monday and Tuesday, we have highs in the 30s for you for Amarillo. High of 36 on Tuesday. And again, this really going to be contingent on where that next system comes. If we're the ones that get hit with that heavier snowfall, temperatures are going to go down, and they're probably going to stay down for a few days just because of snowpack on the ground. But I think that's a system we've definitely got to watch it closely. Most of our model guidance in terms of the ensembles show us anywhere from probably 1 to 3 inches of snow where that system comes through. But again, those are long-range models, and once we get closer and closer into that time frame, we'll get some more finite details as to where some of the heavier snow potential would be if that system does close off. So this weekend, make sure you're watching the forecast Saturday and Sunday night, especially Monday, as that's really going to be kind of the onset of that system. But we won't have true details as far as preliminary snowfall forecast goes probably until Sunday with that second system. So we're not going to talk about snow potential. We're not going to show you the snow totals for that, but just because of the high uncertainty at this point in time. Hey, John, thanks for tuning in this morning. That's all I got for you guys. If you're looking for moisture, I think we're going to have to hold out a little longer here in Amarillo, but the door's open for next week. Models are going to come in probably around 11, 12 o'clock today. We don't know if we'll have all of them in time for your Facebook Live then, but again, just make sure you're watching the forecast closely.